This one, this one is for my educators. I'm Danielle Bertrand, the preventative burnout specialist, and I want you to know that you are in the right place. You are in the Reignite ecosystem. Educators, how y'all doing? How are you feeling for real? I don't mean the answer you give people when they say, "Oh, good morning, how you doing?" I'm fine. I'm not talking about the answer because we are so automatic with that. You could have cried your way all the way to your job, and somebody asks you, "How you doing?" I'm fine. You're not fine, and that's okay because you're in the right place. So I want to talk about how, as educators, we often find ourselves at some of the highest rate of burnout in the world. Educators have consistently reported high levels of burnout, and that is not something that people are just throwing out there. It is so real. If you are on social media and you see consistently people are saying, "Hey, I'm leaving education. I just can't do it. I have to choose myself," and all of these things which are valid, but to have a career where you literally have to stop your career to take care of yourself, it should not be the situation that we're finding ourselves in. However, it is the reality. And listen, at this page, don't feel bad because if you're like, well, people talk bad because I didn't finish the school year and I didn't do this or I didn't come back after summer. Hey, me too. It's happened multiple times. I have been in and out of education. Granted, all of them were not because of burnout, but I've done it. So this is a safe space. So don't feel no type of way because you didn't finish the school year off. Hey, you had to do what was best for you. I applaud you for taking care of you, especially if you did not have the strategies to continue on. If you didn't have the strategies to recover, you didn't have the strategies to prevent it, you had to make a probably extremely difficult choice. I've been there. You're thinking about the kids, you're thinking about your coworkers, you're thinking about all of these things, but you know you can't keep moving forward, not the way you have. I get it. I understand you are safe here. But let's talk about how we keep finding ourselves in these situations because some of us may have said, well, it's the school. I need to change schools. And maybe you've done that, but you still find yourself maybe after a year or two feeling the same level of burnout that you once felt at that previous location. Now I'm about to get real and lay some facts out for you. Some things I had to understand for myself. And even as I am working through my doctoral journey about preventative burnout strategies, y'all ready? Sometimes you're the common denominator. I'm going to let you sit with that one. Sometimes it's not just the environment, it's not just the administration, it's not just the kids. Sometimes it's you. How is it you? When could it be you? Because you're doing all these things and you showing up and all that. I get it because it was me too. But here's the issue, there are things that we are moving through life with that we have just adjusted to as normal, that we show up in spaces, no matter what space that is. And because those things have not been dealt with, we are um, perceptive. We are giving a foot in for burnout because of some situations we have not dealt with that have actually become parts of our personality. When I was an educator, yeah, I'm still an educator. I'm still an educator actually. Um, I found myself when I was educated experiencing burnout. I found myself saying yes to a lot of things that I should have said no to, things that I didn't have the capacity to do. But people were saying, "Oh, you're so good at this, and we really need the help." And what I found myself being is I didn't want to say yes. I actually wanted to say no, but I felt like I was going to be letting the team down, the school down, the parents down. And so I said yes. I was choosing others over myself when I knew it was something I didn't want to do, didn't have the capacity to do, just wasn't interested in doing, but I said yes anyway. What have you been saying yes to that you know you should be saying no to? What is the thing that you did 3 years ago and it was great, but they still ask you to this day to do that thing, and you know that season for you has passed? Because what people will do, some knowingly and unknowingly, manipulation can happen very easily. People can talk you up so much that you start to feel like you're the only person that can do the thing that they're asking you to do. Pride begins to build up, and pride is a amazing way for burnout to come in, because you are now so busy doing all these things they said nobody could do it as good as you. You feel your head and got big, and now you are burnt out because you couldn't say no. You felt like, oh, well, they said I'm the only person that can. You believed it. Let me tell you something. You are amazing, but somebody can do what you do, and they probably can do it better, and that's okay. A lot of times we feel like we're fighting for our spot in education. We feel like, well, if I don't do that, then I'm going to be treated differently. Like we're afraid of retaliation. That is so big in the educational system. Retaliation from admin, from parents, from coworkers. Well, if I don't do this project, they're going to be looking at me crazy. Or if I take off a day, when I come back, I'm gonna get this report of, oh, I had to watch your class and all of these things. And so guilt, retaliation, toxic behavior is something that is almost embedded in the educational system. And if you're not careful, it will take you out. There are so many educators that have experienced strokes and heart attacks and even passed away because of the stress that they carry as an educator. I do not want that to be you, at least not on my watch. If you are taking the time to sit and learn, I want you to get practical strategies so that you can be successful as you continue your career, if God is telling you to continue that career. Because the reality is sometimes we stay in places longer than we were supposed to, and that's why we burnt out. He told you to go 2 years ago, and maybe he told you to go like he told me to go a few years ago. I remember sitting in my classroom on my planning period, and I said, God, there has to be more. I had the degrees, I had the things, but I felt like I was living the same day over and over again. You anybody there? This is what I'm talking about. Get up, go to the gym, come home, shower, get ready for work, go to work, come home, take a nap, fix dinner, do this stuff, and the same thing the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And on Saturday, you might go to brunch. But ultimately, you're living the same day over and over again. And I said, God, there has to be more. And very clearly, he said, Danielle, there is more. You're comfortable with your paycheck. And can I tell you, it wasn't a great paycheck, but I was comfortable. My bills were paid. I was very close to my school. The gym was close. Like I was comfortable. Some of us have gotten so comfortable that there is still discomfort, there is frustration, but we're so comfortable that we don't want to move. You know it is time for you to teach another grade level. You know you need to take the test to be an AP. You know you need to get to a school closer to where you live instead of driving an hour and a half. You know these things, but you're comfortable. Being comfortable is one of the things that the enemy can use to keep you in a place longer than you were supposed to be there, because you're comfortable. But then when God starts to do things to frustrate you, you're like, God wouldn't frustrate you if he's trying to get you to move. Things will start to shift, and things that used to feel very, very comfortable to you now kind of feel uncomfortable, but You know it so well, you're still able to navigate the uncomfortability just so you can stay. I need you to know very clearly, very plainly, if God has instructed you to move on, do it. Because that comes with protection, that comes with provision, that comes with a level of insight that you would have otherwise not had. Move when he's telling you to move. Because you might like, oh, I love my admin, and even though this, and this, and then school starts, and it's a whole different admin team, but you still where you are because you heard the voice and you didn't move because you found a reason to stay. Some of us are finding reasons to stay in places that we have outgrown, places that we have done the assignment. We're educators here. We know that when we give a student assignment, there is a certain level of that assignment they need to complete and turn in. What happens after a student turns in an assignment, but then you catch them working on the same assignment they turned in? You can ask them, well, why are you doing that? I already graded that. You can move on to the next assignment. For some of you, he is saying you have completed your assignment. It's time to move to the next. And yet you're still working on the same thing you already turned in that has been graded. You're not getting no extra credit for it. You are just causing yourself a delay. And when we delay, burnout becomes our best friend. Because now we're in a place where the level of emotional exhaustion begins to compile upon us. If it shows up like us in cynicism, we start to be things that we used to love and enjoy. Anytime somebody says something, we got a smart comment about it. Like we've outstayed our welcome in that place. We stayed too long. So for those of you, okay, go ahead and pause it. I know you got to gather yourself. Go ahead. I'm gonna be here when you get back because burnout will not bury you, not on my watch. And I know there's some foundational things that I need to teach so that you can move in the way that God is telling you to move. So for those of you that He's telling you to go, it's time to go. And you've been knowing it. I'm not telling you some new revelation. You just needed to hear it a different way. But for those that He's telling to stay, you need to know that He's assigned you to that place for a reason, for a season. It might be a parent, it might be somebody on the custodial staff, it might be admin, it might be a student. You don't know exactly who it is for, but He wants you there, and He is going to give you the provision to stay. He is going to give you the peace of mind to be there. But that still could mean he wants you to say no to some stuff. You're burnt out not because you're not in the wrong place. Is you're burnt out because you're putting stuff on your plate that should not be there. You're in the right place. You're just doing the wrong thing. Mm. Who? You're in the right place, just doing the wrong thing. You're worried about making sure admin likes you and knows your name when actually God put you there for that student in your class that's acting up every day. But He wants you to build a relationship with that student because once you build a relationship with that student, you're going to get access to their parents. And that was your true assignment anyway. Some of us, our perspective is just off. What we're focusing on, we're not focusing on the thing He wants us to focus on. We're just trying to do all of the things, and now we're burnt out because it's too much going on. That's never His intent. God wants us to fulfill our assignment in excellence without exhaustion. His goal is not to exhaust you where you have nothing left to give, because if you get to that place, you're not able to hear Holy Spirit as He's leading and guiding you because you're so exhausted. You just like you become on autopilot. Do you know anybody that's on autopilot? They just move through the day. no real emotions. Have you ever driven home, got home, and don't know how you got home? Like you drove, you didn't have an accident, you stopped at the red lights, you hope you did, but you really don't know. That's autopilot. That is not where God wants you to be because you're going to miss important instructions because your mind has shut down. Now it's just your body going in routine. So I want to give you this before we close this out. One of the things that I tell educators as I am presenting at districts, in person, virtually, in professional developments is ease into your day. I'll need to let you know you need to do that. Ease into your day. If you have a day that starts off rushed, the rest of the day is going to be chaotic. What does easing into your day look like? Easing in your day for most people means preparing the day before. You know you're going to work, pick your clothes out the day before. A lot of educators are dealing with decision fatigue. So the less amount of decisions you have to make in crunch time, the better for you. You know you're going to work, pick out your clothes. You know you got to eat lunch. Can you pack it? Like stop doing things that are contributing to the burnout. Give yourself space to breathe. You know, you have to get the kids ready. You know, you have to do all of these things. Prepare the day before. And once you're in the day, ease into it. Stop checking emails as soon as you wake up. Stop allowing people to have access to the time of day that should be sacred for you. Maybe that's your time to pray. It's your time to journal. It's your time to listen to worship music or instrumental music. Whatever that looks like for you, set that as a routine in your life so that you can ease into your day. Can I tell you something? Some of us are experiencing signs of burnout, not necessarily because it's because we're hungry. Eat breakfast. I know you're trying to do intermittent fasting. But if your mood and your attitude can't handle that, eat breakfast. Hmm. You are exhausted and worn out by 10 o'clock because you're hungry. I know. I know. But I'm being honest with you. So ease into your day. Find your rhythm so that the days can start smoothly. So that you give yourself time to settle into what is ahead of you. When the last time you did your skincare routine for real? And you didn't just rush out the house. Those small adjustments will make a huge impact. So I pray that this was helpful, but you better know this is the only thing I got for my educators. But I am Danielle Bertrand, the preventative burnout specialist, and you are watching the Reignite ecosystem. So make sure you stay on this playlist because I promise you there's so much more to come. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so every time something new comes, you do not miss it. Make sure you share it with other educators. I am here to ensure that burnout does not bury you. Not on my watch. Until next time.